Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Selling North Georgia podcast. I'm Corey Shields.
I'm Michael Williams.
And today we are here with Mr. Dustin Coker, the owner of the Native Kitchen. Yes, Dustin, thanks for being here with us today. Actually, I should say thanks for hosting us today because we have changed it up. We are
on location.
On location. We're moving up.
Yes.
We're a very big deal.
We're in the hospitality business, so we're glad to have you.
Let's kick things off. Let's kind of go back. Well, I don't know what your journey has been like so far. So entrepreneurship for you, you own the Native Kitchen. Where does that journey start for you?
I don't know if it runs in my blood or I've been conditioned to and wired to think that way, but both of my parents established their own businesses, even multiple businesses at times. So yeah, I guess I come by it honest. So I worked with my family in the carpet business. My father, as well as his father, originally had a carpet manufacturing business here in Dalton.
Imagine that.
Yeah, we made carpet for hotels, and we were in business for almost 40 years before 2015. My father sold that business, and so from there it was a fresh start in life. I kind of felt like I was a teenager, graduating high school and figuring out all over again what I wanted to do in my life. Always kind of had a vision for creating a restaurant type establishment, maybe a coffee shop environment that would be a hub for community.
You mentioned community a couple times, so we are sitting in the Mill, which is a community of like restaurants and what Corey and I called earlier today Dalton's best kept secret. Like, it's amazing to me that there's not a line out the door every single time I come by. So tell us a little bit about the Mill and like what it is and like where you are and all that.
Yeah, the Mill is a part of a whole complex that was old cotton factory. The southern half of the complex was renovated 15, 20 years ago by Lowell Kirkman, who has family connections to the property. They come into possession of it, and Mr. Kirkman is an architect and developer by trade, and he's been doing that for a long time and has many other significant projects around the community. And so they took it personal and wanted to rehab the property, and had done that initially and developed the other half of the building into condo loft apartments, but had sold that, I believe, years ago, but still own and retain possession of this half of the building, but just, it's just sitting over here growing weeds and collecting dust in a big storage building. Eventually, there was a couple of people, I believe Barbara Adamson and Harper Carnes, they were putting on some kind of warehouse boutique pop-up markets on in here just because it was a cool vibe. And so through that, they began to develop a vision. And of course, there are places like what this now is in bigger cities where they've taken and renovated old industrial buildings. So they knew that there's that potential, but Dalton is a different market, a different place, and so it was much more risky. But they committed themselves to the project, and I just have to applaud them for that. And we just happened to hear about it early on and considered the place initially. My wife was looking at maybe doing a yoga studio or something like personal fitness related. So we looked into the place at that point, and I love the place. And this met us during this time where we're really considering, okay, what's next for us? What direction might we want to go? And they were wanting to put some restaurants and some different things in here. So initially it was just we had the idea for like a coffee shop. That's kind of how we ended up considering the Mill ourselves. I guess as far as deciding to go into the restaurant business was motivated by the perceived lack of options, basically. And not to say there's not some decent options around town, but I've always been someone that was more health conscious and intentional about what I ate, what my diet consisted of. And then my wife as well was that way to a degree, but then was going through some health challenges, and through that wanted to take a more natural approach. We also knew some other people who had values along these lines, but for her it really, she wanted to, and some through consulting with some doctors and healthcare providers, wanted to take that natural approach, wanted to cleanse her body of toxins and things that might be contributing to the problems she was having. So, that really shifted us personally to value those things even more. But it just highlighted the difficulty that anybody who has that kind of interest would have, probably in many communities, not just this one. Just a lack of options of healthier, convenient food. I mean, you can go in the grocery store, and that's what we would do. I'd be hungry, like anybody else. It's lunchtime, and I'd drive up and down the roads, and I'd think, all right, I'm so hungry, I'm just going to sacrifice and eat at one of these commercial kind of
franchise type places,
chain restaurants,
McDonald's.
on Walnut Avenue. And then I'd go up and down like, no, I can't do it. And I'd pull in Kroger and I would go and just grab an armful of things I could eat pretty quickly. And that seemed absurd to me that I'd have to do that, knowing that, too, I couldn't be the only one. So eventually it was kind of like, well, if nobody else is going to do it, then the situation's not going to change. And surely there's opportunity. So, but what does that look like? And how do you create something that doesn't exist and there's not really a lot of great models for, and will it be successful? In a smaller town, we are used to eating a certain way here in the community. But from the beginning, that was an important value: making healthier food available, more convenient.
Yeah, you mentioned the being more health conscious, having a healthier menu. But for our audience, somebody who's never been here before, never even heard of it, how would you describe both the menu and just the general atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, I would say you really got to come and be here in the mill as a whole, as well as coming into Native to appreciate and experience what an atmosphere it is. And it is a mix of the industrial, kind of the rustic vibe of the exposed brick and concrete floors, and those are the main features. I mean, we didn't have to do a lot to make the place awesome.
Would you say maybe the mill itself kind of influenced Native specifically, you think?
Yeah, to a degree, especially in terms of the aesthetics and the physical. Though I would hope to incorporate, I mean, this vibes with me as well, but you can't, I know the viewer can't see the exposed brick, but you couldn't create that if you wanted to. So
it's funny that the place is called Native Kitchen, and there's so much native material here. Like you literally saved the floor. It's concrete floor. You got the awesome beam over there. You got the bricks. Like it has a native feel, and you're a Dalton native. And so, how'd you come up with the name?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, it's basically a synonym for local. We wanted to incorporate this local character to the place, from the aesthetics to the menu to the personalities. We wanted it to be something that was uniquely Dalton, not to say that it couldn't be positioned other places easily, but we wanted it to be unique in that way, genuine, authentic experience in that way. And all of us who were involved early on in creating the place put our personalities into kind of how it all developed, the character, again, of the place, but of the menu. The menu itself developed out of our values, our personal convictions around the importance of health and nutrition to a person's quality of life. It even can become a moral question. How we treat ourselves and our bodies is important for our future and our well-being, as well as what that means to our families and the people around us. So it's an important question that we ought to take seriously, and unfortunately there's not a lot of good options out there. We're so conditioned to eat a certain way, largely out of convenience or what we've always known. So we wanted to appeal to that, but maybe elevate people's perceptions about what's possible, both in the quality of food, the range of things, as well as some of the other things. So we do offer a lot of allergy sensitive options, or a number of our dishes start out vegetarian. So there's options available for people who have those concerns and interests, whereas a lot of places don't cater to a person so they're very limited in their options. And so we found, and we initially didn't start with the allergy sensitive emphasis as high of a priority as what has become part of our identity. But in doing this, we encountered people, and so we do now every day, people who have gluten allergies or celiac disease or other things around dairy and whatnot, that they're so relieved, even excited, ecstatic to come to a place and have so many options that they're used to, being very limited.
Right.
Can't even go out to eat many times. So obviously that's a growing market, people that are more conscious of their health, how they eat. And so that was important to us. We knew it was important to others. So that wasn't the risk so much as just wanting to operate a business around it. It was a whole other thing. Depend on, having enough people coming in every day to keep the lights on and food flowing.
So you mentioned we often get in the habit of eating a certain way and just living a certain lifestyle, and Dalton is definitely, I would say, considered a more traditional community for sure. How do you feel like the community has responded to the Native Kitchen?
Yeah, if we're talking about our food specifically, our menu, then it's very mixed. I'd even say it could be quite polarizing at times with certain items on the menu. I think there are those people who are not interested in eating here at all, and we realize that and accept that, and whether they're just a meat and potatoes kind of person, though we have meat and potatoes.
Dude, the hearty breakfast is amazing. I get here at 8:59 and I'm like, please serve me up some hearty breakfast. Now, it's a vegetarian dish, but you can add some chicken.
Right? We got bacon.
Throw some bacon on it?
Some bacon on there.
I usually add the chicken. So, but yeah, man, that meal is awesome.
We got house-made chips, French fries, and the breakfast potatoes.
There we go.
And stewed potatoes. So we have food really for everybody, but we realize that it's such a perception thing. One of I consider it a mistake or a flaw in our strategy early on. We kind of over-branded ourselves with some of those words, organic, gluten-free, and though we strive to include those things and we value those things personally, I think it kind of pigeonholed us and stereotyped us too much, and in people's minds, they perceive that still to this day, many people believe that we're a vegetarian restaurant, and we do offer many great options for the vegetarians out there, but we've never been a vegetarian restaurant. But the perception matters, and of course we've been battling against that perception from the beginning, but at the same time, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You have those people out there who love us for those reasons, and they're excited to come and check out the cashew cheese, or to have that wealth of options before them. And there are others who've never stepped foot in this place, though they may be good friends or family or whatever, because they don't think that there's anything for them. And so it's a challenge for sure, and we have to kind of wrestle with that daily because some of our food is unique, and I say even polarizing because it's love-hate. We have our house bread that we make, our bun that all of our sandwiches are on, and people either love it or hate it. We have people tell us on a daily that they love the bread. Tell me more about this bread. Can I buy in bulk from you? And then we pick up plates that have the guts of the sandwich eaten out and the bread left on the plate. So, it's something at this point that
don't know what to do with that.
it kind of amuses me. Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet, but you realize you're dealing with people's personal choices and preferences there, but as well as kind of a conditioning. Your palate can be conditioned by what you're familiar with, and so these are new tastes and flavors that some people have never even tried before. Not that they're all that exotic, but if perhaps you just grow up on a more limited diet, then you're not interested in all the green stuff that we might offer, or just really it's not all that unique, but we just use things in different ways. So we have we do a lot with sweet potatoes. We do a lot with avocados. We do a lot with potatoes, but our nachos are made from our potato-based house chips, our vegetarian chili, and a cashew cheese that we make. So it's unlike any nachos that you've ever had anywhere, but they're delicious.
Yeah.
But it takes coming and experiencing it and maybe finding those things that you like to get people over that hump.
I'm so having some cashew cheese. That's happening tonight.
It sounds like I'm interested in.
We've just accepted at this point that's who we are, and we're kind of polarizing or have that effect on people. We realize it's kind of an interesting thing. I was having this conversation earlier. I realize that when you emphasize health in any way, it provokes people's insecurities maybe, or their subconscious. I think some people don't even want to come here because it makes them more aware of their health.
I never thought about that.
Maybe makes them, even though it's not our intention ever to make somebody feel guilty. We would love, our intention is actually to show people that healthier food can taste good. It's not just salads. It doesn't have to be boring. It can be interesting and exciting. There are alternative options to substitute for a lot of things that may be less healthy. And we want to show people how to diversify, their diet, and even walk alongside people to help them and be a source of education. But still, nevertheless, unfortunately, some people, I think, they come in, they see all these options, these buzzwords, and they feel guilty, maybe, or just don't know what to do with themselves in here, and so just kind of go the other way for one reason or another.
I've had people ask me when we're dealing with somebody from out of town, they're like, so where's the coolest place in Dalton to eat? And my answer is the Native Kitchen. Like, it is the coolest place in Dalton to eat, for sure. Like, I don't even know its second coolest place. Like, it's that far above in my mind. So,
and we get that compliment, and that's a great compliment. And I'm very proud of that compliment because we've tried to make it a cool destination. But I was making that point earlier. But if our food wasn't good, disappointment, that would be becoming this.
You can't have this awesome vibe and bad food. Like, you gotta make the food match it, right?
But then that comes back though to the other question. It's like, well, some people hate our food, but at least
I've never talked to anybody that hates your food. Everybody I've brought here, everybody I've brought here has been like, "Oh my gosh, it's so amazing." So, yeah.
I believe that we have way more 5-star reviews than lesser.
So, Dustin, what do people need to know to get in here? Where are you at? What are the hours? All that good stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah, well, the mill is located at 825 Chattanooga Avenue. And once you get inside, you'll find Native. We're in here with the rest, with everyone else. So take a stroll around the place. You'll inevitably come across us. We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Through Friday, and then we open a little later on Saturday, and we go 9 to 9.
Appreciate you for talking with us today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I'm Corey Shields.
I'm Michael Williams.
See you next time.